All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking this hour with me to join this very valuable webinar that we all need to get some information, some benefits from. Um, I like to say the story begins here with my grandma. When I was in America 20 years ago, about 4 years, I cannot go home. I was pretty close to my grandma. I think I lived with her when I was in junior middle school. And I was with her to go to the morning exercise near the river of our city and quite close to her. So I was in America for 4 years and did not get the chance to go back until 4 years later. I heard from my aunts, uncles, my mom saying that my grandma is diagnosed with dementia. It is not a Parkinson, but it's a dementia. She started to lose her memory. She was just repeating people's name and could not recognize the faces as usual. Um, I was concerned, I was worried. So 4 years later, when I go back to China, I visited my grandma. She hadn't seen me for 4 years. When she opened the door, she looked at me and she said my name right away. She said, Lily, you're back. Okay. So yeah, I was like that when I was crying. But an hour later, she could not she could not see me. She said, okay, who are you? So sorry about it. Okay, let's move on. Okay. So dementia, let's talk about dementia. Now, when I say the brain matters, memory loss, and these things, only one part of them. I wanted to say I could not cover the whole lot about brain issues today. It's only 1 hour. So we'll focus on the memory loss part, how to maintain our brain function well. But also brain has another big functions of what? Emotions, right? I will assemble another webinar in the future talking about neurotransmitter, talking about how are we managing how to use life, food, nutrients, exercise well to managing to improve our neurotransmitter comes to the brain and make people less anxiety, stressed, depressed. Another big portion is also the brain detox. That's a big topic, and I am planning to do it next month. So let's just touch one part of the brain function here. Dementia is the umbrella term for decline in cognitive function that interferes with daily life. Include various conditions affecting memory, thinking, and reasoning. So my grandma is vascular dementia. Um, that means the blood circulation, the flow, the blood circulate to the brain, it becomes narrowing, becomes less, becomes not well nourishing the brain to the level that her brain function becomes diminished, especially the hippocampus, which is the memory store our memory part. However, Alzheimer's, everybody know that, right? Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia, accounting the 60 to 80% of the cases. And you hear people talk about dementia, most likely they refers to Alzheimer's, but there are other types of dementia. Okay, what happens to her brain? We all were young people, and we're getting older and older and older. Things changed. Things changed inside of the brain, and make the brain function not well. The story of the brain doesn't end with only memory loss. There's much more. So, in other words, memory loss is typical, common to see, but there are also other signs that indicating the brain function could be diminishing, but we did not realize that. So here, I will ask you some questions, a few questions for you. In the past 5 years, did you have this? If you do, you can type 1 in the chat room. Okay, it's kind of a self-exam. In the past 5 years, did you have any changes or decrease in the sense of taste? Did you notice that your food is not taste as good as before? Do you have any decreasing on hearing ability? Do you have any ringing in the ears? Do you have any decrease in the sense of smell? You don't smell things clear and sharp as before. What about vision? Did you notice any vision decline, blurred vision, or even double vision? Do you experience any unexplained facial nerve pain? Unexplained. That means that it's not from a trauma, it's not from specific that you were diagnosed. It's just gradually, these things gradually happened. One day you'll notice, I didn't smell the coffee as the same as before. Did you have unexplained neck pain in the front or on the side? I don't think I injured my neck. How come I have this? Okay. Did you have any voice changed? Did you have unexplained dizzy? Like, oh, I feel dizzy in the morning, but and then 2 days later, I feel better. But then the dizziness comes back. No reason. I don't know why. These things, these small questions here, they may resemble neurological issues, okay? Coming from the brain changes. Because when we're talking about the memory, this is a cerebral, okay? It's inside of the brain tissue. But there's 12 cranial nerves coming out of the brain that controls the sense, the motor, the autonomic functions like hearing, smell, taste. Let's take a look. So you see my mouse here. When I mention about memory, the memory is inside of the brain tissue. It's inside, but come out of the brain. Did you see the nerve? They are directly come out of your brain. And these nerves are in charge of vision. This is eyeball. This is eye movement. Eyeball movement. They're charging facial pain, eyelid, tongue, your taste, neck muscle. Okay? Facial, this is ear, the hearing, taste, and these are vagus nerve. That is to say, with time, with aging, or with also other reasons, could be diet, toxicity, could be vascular, could be the blood circulation not sufficient enough. Not only the inside of the brain, there's amygdala, there's hippocampus for the memory part, cerebellum for the balancing, but also the nerves come out of the brain can get affected. So from these three symptoms, you may give yourself a thought, but it also could be the brain getting little, we call them aging.
Your brain starts to form about 2 weeks after conception. On one side of the developing embryo, the cells thicken to form what is called the neural plate. Around week 4, this folds over onto itself, forming a tube which ultimately creates the nervous system. Every minute, from the time the neural tube closes, your brain is growing hundreds of nerve cells called neurons. But what you don't have is a lot of synapses, the point of contact where electronic signals are passed between neurons, which in turn change the behavior of the neurons. Some neurons become insulated by a fatty substance called myelin. These neurons, known as white matter, are able to transmit information faster between brain areas, allowing more complex processes to take place. But now, they understand that synapses can be strengthened or weakened depending on how they are used. This is known as neuroplasticity. It's essentially your brain's way of making sure it's more efficient with experience and absorbs new information. The insulation of the neurons, which begins at birth, continues over many years. It starts at the back of the brain and moves forward, so different parts of your brain develop at different rates. Areas associated with reward, like the ventral striatum, develop faster than the prefrontal cortex, which is linked to self-control and rationality. Teens also experience major changes in their limbic system, the part of the brain that controls emotions. All this might explain why teenagers experience more mood swings than adults. In the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that relates to self-evaluation. This change can improve teenagers' understanding of social interactions and their ability to form friendships. Your brain reaches full development by your 30s, and white matter reaches the highest volume at about 40. But it's not all downhill from there. As you age, plasticity allows your brain to keep changing and adapting. Scientists have found the amygdala, the part of the brain that deals with emotion, lights up when younger people look at both positive and negative images. But for older adults, it reacts much less when shown negative images. Studies show that the slowing process begins in your 30s and 40s, before accelerating in your 60s and 70s. As you move into later life, your cerebral cortex, which is the outer layer of the brain, thins. This is particularly noticeable in the frontal lobe and the hippocampus, which are important for memory, emotions, and navigation. Your white matter shrinks, and the brain generates fewer chemical messengers, such as dopamine and serotonin, which leads to slower cognitive processing.
Here's the picture. Healthy brain. Healthy brain. This is the white matter. This is the gray matter. The gray matter on the surface right here. This is when people have dementia. Look at their brain. Okay, they're shrinked. So not only the brain shrinked, the white matter, the gray matter become thinner as well. Normal brain on the left side, this is Alzheimer's brain, getting smaller. Okay. So the brain, it looks like a dried up walnuts. Yeah, it's getting dried up. Where our brain nutrients from? From our food, you drink, you eat. And right now the brain getting shrinked, getting dried. There's one of the reasons you feed your brain well. Shrinkage affecting both gray and white matters. Okay, 5% decrease after age 40, and the brain aging accelerate after 70 years old. Approximate reduction of 5% of the brain weight per 10 years after the age 40. Every 10 years, your brain becomes lighter. Okay, disproportionately affected means that the area of the brain affected differently. That's why some people show symptoms on memory problems. Some people shrinkage on mental emotional problems. Some people shrinkage, showing symptoms on judgment, decision making. What happens? Processing speed gets lower. People start to move slower, speak slower, and the sensory getting not as fast. So like if you touch a hot water or hot cup, not as fast of pulling back. Okay, memory impairment, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, reasoning got decreased. Yeah, executive functions, self-control, goal-directed behavior. It can get, less. Sensations, that's what I'm testing you. Did you feel the taste, the smell? Because of the nerve coming out of the brain also can get malnourished or get aging, okay? Others, cognitive continues. Focus, attention span get less, language processing get slower, spatial awareness. Let's try do a little bit game. I'm gonna tell you a word. Be focused, and spell the word backward. Try it. Give it a try, okay? I'll tell you the word. World. Can you spell it backward? World. Backward. DLROW. Yeah? The faster you can do, the better brain function. So you can use this as an exercise as well. Okay? Now, finger coordination. Can you follow me? We can do this. This is also a very good exercise. You can do it every single morning. Wake up your brain. Do faster. Fast. As fast as you can. Another good job. Another exercise. Okay. Now, because of time limit, I won't let you to standing up. Okay. But you can test yourself as well. Can you stand up with eyes closed? Can you stand up with eyes closed with one leg? That's the most challenging part. If you have trouble with it, if you have challenge when you stand up with one leg, you're thinking about we have to boost our brain function. Yeah. I see Chris is trying. Okay. That's okay. What happens inside the brain? Understanding the change behind the brain malfunction. Look at this picture. I love this picture. This is the symptoms. These are the reasons. There's so much things. And even though right now the scientists and researchers are still continue to explore what happens inside the brain. Okay, this is so far we discovered so far. Okay. There's more coming. And I cannot go over every single thing, but I'm just gonna go circle a few of them. Look, inflammation. Chronic inflammation can cause brain aging. Okay. You may say, okay, do I have chronic inflammation? You might. GI tract chronic inflammation, arthritis. If you have chronic pain, you may have a very low level of chronic inflammation as well. Okay. Oxidative damage. Happens all the time. It's like when you slice the apple layer exposed to the air can get brownish. That's called oxidize. Smoking, alcohol, just the daily life, you're not having enough exercise, all can cause oxidize. But to reverse oxidized damage, you have to eat a lot of what? Antioxidant food, lots of vitamin C rich food, right? E, D, those are all antioxidant. It helps oxidize damage. Toxicity, heavy metals, microplastic and nanoplastic. These are toxicity. A big topic I will share with you next month. Super important. So do these things can stuck in the brain? Absolutely. With years of accumulations of different toxicity, not only these toxicity can stay inside of your gland, your organ, your tissue, your joints, but also can stay in your brain. Understand that when we will know that how to detox pull up the toxicity, and then you're nourishing the brain. That's why it can reverse and make your brain function better. Okay, neurodepletion, hormone depletion, impaired waste disposal. That's interesting. Waste disposal. Our brain, this is brain tissue, but the brain is soaked in spinal fluid. The brain has a fluid, okay? And the fluid connecting with the lymphatic system, right? So do you know when is your brain dispose waste? When you sleep. When you sleep. When you sleep, your brain started its detox processing, and the fluid will take away the trash from the brain to the lymphatic system, then goes to a kidney, then you get up to pee. You pee them out. Okay, but people stay up late, they don't have a good sleep, the waste disposal function is impaired. Makes sense to you, huh? Oh, look at this, metabolic dysregulation. The term is big. Let's talk about sugar. Sugar is a metabolic problem. So if someone's sugar level is high, consistent high, A1C has been high for a while, it's a metabolic dysregulation. Does it affecting the brain? Absolutely affecting the brain. Okay, another big, cerebral blood flow. Cerebral means the brain. Blood flow becomes decreased. We're always talking about our brain need nutrition. Where's come from? Blood supply. Where blood come from? Your heart. Heart is pumping up. See, heart pump. The heart pump the blood through your neck, vertebrae, goes into your brain. We need to have this flow well. Of course, your blood has supposed to have good nutrients. So when the blood pump up into your brain, it brings oxygen, it brings nutrients, it brings the energies to your brain. So your brain get feeded. Now, the decrease, 27% decline on blood flow over 70 years old. One of the reason is, okay, of course, you have to have good nutrients, good heart pumping, but make sure you also need to have a good neck. In other words, move your neck. If you see a computer for a while, watching the phone for a while, make sure you move your neck. That's way when the blood goes through the neck, it not narrowing down. Is that what like flows freely, goes to the brain, nourishing my brain. Okay. This is one of this. I noticed so much, including my dad, when he using the iPad, he was stuck on the head, on the bed and watching the iPad 1 hour, no movement. I said, no, Dad, you have to get up and move your neck. Otherwise, not enough blood to your brain. Yeah. Very important. Next thing, super, super important. This is the key of today. I want to let you know, blood-brain barrier. I want to take home this today. Blood-brain barrier. In other words, is what's inside of your blood. Your brain is selectively absorb. Your brain does not absorb everything in flows in your blood for a reason. Because inside of your blood, you could have drug, you could have toxicity, you could have the things that your brain very harmful to the brain. So the brain naturally, this is amazing, our as a body, human body, our brain naturally has a barrier. This barrier is very tight junctions here. So when the blood flows, it in the gut has a barrier there. I will mention next month for the toxicity webinar. In our brain, the junction is tighter. It only allows certain things flows in the blood that goes into your brain. which is a protective function.
The brain relies on a membrane that lines the brain's blood vessels, known as the blood-brain barrier. All blood vessels are lined with endothelial cells. There are gaps to let molecules out of the blood vessel and into other tissues. But the endothelial cells that line the brain's blood vessels are really close together. That means only certain molecules can slip through and get out into the brain tissue. Some molecules, like water and oxygen, can cross the blood vessel's wall and get into the brain. So can some fat-soluble substances like caffeine and alcohol. Other molecules the brain needs, like glucose, can hitch a ride into the brain tissue with the help of certain proteins. But by and large, the blood-brain barrier doesn't let most drugs through, which presents a big problem in medicine. That's made it tricky to find treatments that work well for neurological conditions like Alzheimer's, stroke, and brain cancer.
Not pass. And it's challenging for pharmaceutical company to make this medicine pass through the BBB, blood-brain barrier. Okay, now since I have this slideshow here, blood sugar and brain health. Did I say it? Sugar pass BBB, correct? So type 1 diabetes, we all know. People's pancreas got impaired. They do not produce enough insulin. People have type 1 diabetes relies on injections of insulin to live, right? Type 2 diabetes are people received diabetes after improper lifestyle, improper diet, improper stress, you name it, okay? But have you heard type 3 diabetes? Type 3 diabetes is a term of not official term. Scientists and research named dementia or Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes because in the most recent, let's say 10 years, 5 to 10 years research find out because of sugar past BBB, blood-brain barrier, so sugar can stay inside the brain, all right? So when they do anatomy and dissect the brain from Alzheimer's patient after they passed away, they find out their brain tissue called sugarized. The brain tissue becomes sweet. So they felt okay because of sugar stays in the brain too much, too long, impaired brain function. They did not, so this is a nickname. It's not an official name, but the scientists start to calling Alzheimer's disease one of the big reasons are type 3 diabetes. So managing the sugar level is not only important for your body health, but also good for brain health. Already, I think I'm behind. I'm so sorry. How to slow down, reverse the brain aging. Trust your brain. Our brain, I know you are here, you're watching the webinar with me, your brain functioning well, okay? We want to functioning better. We want to reverse the damage as much as possible, okay? Trust your brain. Your brain our body was designed amazingly. They have a natural way of resilience. We want to get better, okay? So your brain has extra cells that can make up for the loss of nerve cells due to aging or disease. The formation of new connections, the brain can create new connections between existing nerve cells to make up for the decrease in the cells with age. Productions of new nerve cells, even though after injury or stroke, certain areas of the brain can also generate new cells. Okay, so there's always hope. So we can take some actions to maintain the useful brain and potentially reverse brain cell damage. Okay, so if someone already have a neurological changes, so if any one of you already have diagnosed with some neurological change, I still recommended follow up with your doctor's recommendation. And from a functional medicine perspective, we have to dig further, see what is the cause. A lot of times what our diagnosis is the symptom. There's unknown reason of why your brain is this. But there's lots of things you can do to explore, like toxicity exam. If it is the truth, proper detox is necessary. And after detox, improve the brain function by nutrition. And of course, from my specialty, I can offer you acupuncture. So here I'm gonna share natural ways, 5 paths, natural ways to slow down the brain aging. Means that you were not officially diagnosed or very severely concerned about brain disease yet. Now, this is who I am. I want to become younger, my brain. I want to reverse it. That's food, nutrients, supplements, exercise, lifestyle, acupuncture. Food to start with, fatty fish. Very important. Now, I talked about omega-3 last month. It's a 1 hour. I cannot repeat it here. I highly recommend people to take a recording, watch the recording of that webinar, how to improve your omega-3 function, okay, to improve the brain. Next one, berries. We all know, very good antioxidant, okay, and so make your brain less rusty. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, broccoli, dark leafy things, these are all very beneficial, very approachable, not expensive. Nuts and seed, okay? Eggs. Supplements, anything supplements. So people always, oh, what should I take? Number 1, for brain function, improve omega-3 fatty acid. Let me tell you, I take DHA. So this is the case. Okay, this is in February. I talking about this omega-3. Everything about omega-3. The recording is on the website. I highly recommend who have not taken the webinar, watch the recording. There's small donation for the local charity youth program. I don't take the money, but I wanted to, encourage you to take this webinar. Omega-3 has DHA and EPA. DHA for brain cell repairment, vision cell repairment, and improvement. So if you have a regular lipid panel, means that your cholesterol is fine, not much concern. You want to improve the DHA. You have to buy the DHA more proportioned for the brain purpose, okay? Now, in my last webinar talking about omega-3, do not jump into taking fish oil blindly. Just go shopping, grab one from, no, I talked about in detail in the webinar. And I highly recommend you take a finger blood test to see where you are in your blood level, how much omega-3 in your blood, how much DHA you have, EPA you have. You have a baseline, you know how much you need and how to take it. Supplement number 2, phosphatidylserine. This is FDA actually approved. This is not, isn't approved for a drug, for a medicine, but as a supplement. And lots of product, if you actually shop online or go check out the store, where you see this is for memory, I bet 99% of them, they have this one. They have these ingredients in it, okay? So it's okay. I have using that for my patient. Ginkgo. Ginkgo is another one that you can also in junction with DHA to improve the brain function. Quick experience is I treated a patient have a early dementia. He literally lost a function even to speak fluently, and he would stop trying to search the word for 2 minutes. So it's pretty bad situation for him. I gave him Pro DHA memory. So that product has DHA from the omega-3, but also has phosphatidylserine. And together with Ginkgo together, 2 years, he's reversed. He's basically fine. He reads, he speaks, he talks, basically much, much better. Another one is herb I recommend is for turmeric. You say, oh, I know turmeric. I finally have a time, maybe 2 minutes, give it to me to explain to you the difference between turmerics, because I could not talk in detail in clinic for each patient. It's quite in detail. Okay, turmeric. You got turmeric from the store. People say, oh, I use turmeric to cook. I go to Indian restaurant to eat. That's turmeric a lot. It's okay. That's fine. Turmeric naturally is a good anti-inflammatory, but it has a poor absorption and a rapid metabolism in the liver and the intestines, so that it's very hard to go into the BBB. What is BBB? Blood-brain barrier. Because of turmeric, basically was just does not even absorb well into the blood circulation, but it definitely clean your gut. It helps with digestion, but it's hard to get into the blood circulation. Even though they get into the blood circulation, it's fast metabolizing the liver. So liver neutralize it, which I will mention next month for the detox process. Neutralize it already. So when turmeric, if turmeric is in the blood, when it goes to the brain, it's even very little. So if your brain has inflammation, which is, yes, you can't have brain inflammation, your brain can get inflamed, which is when the turmeric goes into the brain, it's little bit, and you did not even know it can pass through the BBB, blood-brain barrier. That's why you need to find the product has a turmeric slow release and bind it with the best one. We call them the fenugreek seed. This is the plant seed. Bind it boundary with turmeric. So when you take the turmeric in your gut, it becomes slower digesting and slower releasing. So when it goes to circulation after the liver to the brain, you still have quite a bit amount of turmeric in the blood flow, and it can pass through the blood-brain barrier. That way, it tremendously brings down the inflammation. It helps pain, it helps focus, it helps actually mental health a lot. People have super anxiety, it brings down quite a bit quick. Okay, so this is why, oh, look at this. This is a research from MediHerb. This is the herb that I recommended to patients, but I don't have time to explain to them. Now I finally have the minutes to share with you. This is the symbol of the curcumin. Curcumin is the turmeric. Curcumin is the active ingredients within the turmeric. Curcumin with fenugreek combination, fiber complex. This is the symbol, which is the peak one. Do you see that? Down here is the normal curcumin. So the turmeric you can find in store anywhere. Okay. Look, the absorption, average plasma concentration. Plasma is the blood. So after you take the turmeric, the one you buy from the store, regular, whichever you have, the curcumin, this is the absorption. Very flat, not even 0.1. And this is the absorption of curcumin fenugreek complex, way absorbing than the regular curcumin. When I say curcumin, it's turmeric. Do you see the difference? This is make your turmeric works. Okay. This is the curcumin fenugreek fiber complex. Has a almost 22% times better absorption than the regular one. Okay, so you find the right turmeric is the key. You don't waste your money. It works. Okay, physical exercise. I know many of you are very active. Aerobic exercise, bicycling, love it, right? Swimming, dancing, strength training, resistance exercise helps. Balancing, coordination helps. Brain exercise. I see people where they waiting for me for treatment. They have puzzle. Good. Play the word puzzle helps your brain. They have coloring, like journaling. So there's so many apps you could do. Cognitive piano. Play the piano every morning. This is helps. Okay. Hunt the rabbit. This is challenging. Okay, no. Let's do the pinky index. This is easier. Pinky index. Can you follow me? Pinky index. Pinky index. Yeah. Okay. And switch. Try it. Pinky index. Come back. Pinky index. Come back. Pinky index. Exercise. Helping. Okay. Another challenge. Hunt the rabbit. Rabbit. Here's the rabbit. Hunter. Get ready? Okay. Switch. Hunt the rabbit. It's fun. It's fun, but it's challenging. It can be challenging. You need more practice. That's okay. Mind-body exercise, meditation, mindful practice, deep breathing, very beneficial, okay? Social activity, yes, you need to go out, talk with your friends, join a group, chat with your neighbor, walk your dog, chat with the other dog owners. Lifestyle, make sure you drink lots of water, enough sleep. Did I say that? Your brain detox when you sleeping. Okay? Mindful eating. This is super important. This is the next step. We need to talk about how your nutrients comes to the brain, because you need to eat, and then your GI tract need to absorb in the nutrients and carry it up to your brain. Mindful eating, stressful management, acupressure. The top one, you can tap. Okay. On the back of your neck, this is whenever you go to massage therapist, even though a chair massage, they must do this. This is the gate. This is the window where your blood pumping from the heart passes through here to your brain. I want to go back here. Look at this one. Remember, we're talking about the frontal lobe is your mental, emotion, judgment, cognitive. This is knowledge out here. So also you could massage here. Now, one of the way, did you see the, okay, gosh, this is the comb. I have it in the clinic, but if you can find it in a cheaper way in the Temu or Amazon, feel free to get similar of this, okay? And you brush it. So brush your, use this brush, will not take off your hair because it have a wider range. You could do this, you could do this. Brush your scalp. Yeah, for those experiencing brain aging and neurological changes already, I would say dig out the root cause, at least to rule out any toxicity. That's super important. And that it could be the root cause that many doctors that's not, think it is, okay, yeah. They look small on that, but it's big. It is really big. Okay, detox, omega-3, this is my recap. So if you people already experiencing some brain aging already bothering them, dig out the root cause, detox, an omega-3 DHA, high quality of turmeric, and acupuncture treatments. But that's my specialty because I want to show you. You see the neuroacupuncture, right? Either with me or Dr. Shao, you must experience needles on your head. We do it not only because we have pain. You keep this in mind. Every single needles on your scalp, it helps. It helps your nerve connection, your brain, the circulation. Definitely. There's research of called how come scalp acupuncture prevent dementia, and it can have the results. So when you have the needles on your scalp, it's good. Don't feel scared. But if it's painful, let us know. We will adjust it. This is my real patient. I want to show you. He had tremor, very bad tremor. This is the beginning before treatment. He could not control just having yeah. I have a talking with him right now, but maybe you could not hear. But this is what before I put the needles on his head. Yeah, he could not get this is after. Oh, look. After I put needles on his head, like 5 minutes after the needles on the scalp acupuncture, the tremor is much stabilized. This means what? This means what? The needle worked. It did connect it, even though I did not puncture your brain. I only needle on the scalp, but it worked inside of it connected with the nerve or the brain tissues of inside. It's influenced the nerve connection. That's why the tremor got much peaced, much better. But will this patient, the tremor gone? I don't think so, because if we could not figure out what's the cause of the tremor, what is the cause of the issues, the acupuncture can bring down or slow down the symptoms for a while. But then if the root cause is still there, it'll come back. So the dig out the root problem is the thing that's okay. Sorry about it. It was a little emotional at the beginning, so kind of little sluggish. So sorry about it. Thank you for your time.